works, you know. Hey guys, what's up? Today I wanted to record a little tutorial, mostly for my own sake, to document my own skills and whatnot. But I decided that, or I remembered that recreating this very specific techno bass sound took me quite a long time to figure out, even though it's a pretty simple sound in and of itself. It does sound like I'm gonna try and show you how I went about recreating this, or like getting pretty close at least. So it's by Toki Fuku on the Kaseya album EP, and it's from the track Stride. It sounds a little bit like this. That's the basic of it. It's like this. I don't know. It sounds deceptively simple, but I spent a lot of time, I remember back in the day, trying to figure out exactly how to create something similar like this almost like hollow kind of techno bass. So what I've got going here is just a standard 808 kit that's gonna serve as a low bass. Nothing super fancy here. Just got the tone all the way up, the decay a bit down, and the drive a bit up. Also, I've got disabled some calibration software. So in any case, what I do like to start with is the wavetable, mainly because compared to, like, we could do this with an operator also, but the wavetable does have more modulation capabilities for us to play with, which I've found to be very important when it comes to generating movement in what is supposed to be a pretty static bass line in and of itself. We're not going to go up and down in pitch, but we're going to mainly be modulating the filter to create that movement. So the tempo of this track is 125. And now the first thing I want to do is I've already figured out what key or what root note it is, and it is G sharp. So we're gonna go to G sharp. There we go. And bear with me, you guys. This is like my first tutorial ever, so we'll see. But so now I want what I remember is the track being dun 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 dun, right? So before we even get the kick going, we're gonna get that rhythm going. So we're gonna hit O on our keyboard to get the metronome on. Dun. And also I just got a Mac, so I'm not super accustomed to these hotkeys yet. So it's dead simple, actually. It's like this. Now, you might be thinking, wow, this sounds incredibly boring, dude. Yes, it does. It always does in the beginning. So, anyways, I've dialed down the filter. I want to keep it at 24 decibel octave cutoff. We go over to the matrix, and if you hit the amp text here on the mod sources, it's gonna take you it's gonna take it directly to the amp envelope. Right, now we can just dial this in a bit. You can also okay, so that's our basic sound. Then now what I want to do is trying to get I want to use LFO1, which is located here, to open the filter for me at certain intervals, and I want something like this. And just by moving it like this, I can already kind of tell that I want this to be on probably a, I don't know what this interval is called. This is a full bar, this is a half a bar. And then to make things easier for ourselves, and I know I want this to be pretty sharp, down, down, down. I want the LFO essentially to accentuate the movement, down, 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 right? So that's why I've gone ahead and I've chosen the triangle shape, but I've for the LFO number 1, but I've chosen to go all the way into negative, so it's gonna resemble. We're gonna end up with a downward facing sawtooth. So we go over to the matrix. We use LFO1 and we just tap frequency once. Right, and now you can hear it's working, but the main issue right now is that it's re-triggering, and we don't want that. Okay, now it's just way too much. And now I would like the start of this LFO to be placed differently. I want basically to offset it a bit. So what I've come to find is if you do 180, you can play around with this, and you can go like any kind of number that you want. 360 is basically the same as nothing, so there's no point. But I want to go 180 on this. Aha. And in my mind, that's basically it. Like, you wouldn't think that I spent you have no idea how much time I spent trying to figure out this specific sound. And in the later years, there are a lot of really decent tutorials on this exact effect, or like this kind of sound. What's really cool now is that you don't really need a lot of effects. Let's just plop in a reverb and a delay. Just do the hybrid reverb because it sounds nice, and a simple delay to take the ping pong on, and then we'll just adjust the filter so that we're not gonna delay the lowest parts of this bass sound. Essentially, you can just crank this a bit up and down, and that's basically it, right? Now, and from here you can, like this. What I also really like to do is to decide already in, like, when you're designing these two sounds, that we're gonna use the low 808 kick as the sub bass. So that means there's no point for us to having this sub frequency present in the final mix anyways, because it's just gonna clash. It's gonna clash hardcore with the kick. So let's just dial down this like that. And for those of you wondering why I've chosen to use not the standard low cut, but like more this softer bell curve, it's simply because I want to try and avoid the added resonance, cutoff resonances that you get usually when selecting like a sharp low cut like this. And it's just like, you can definitely go like this. This is the most common mix practice you'll see out there. Yeah, and it does the job. See, And from here you can just play around with the effect. Right, and you could use the cutoff frequency to modulate, to like create movement and evolve the sound over time, right? And this is a really good foundation for potentially the rest of the track if you want this sound to be the main, one of the main leading elements, which I do find to be the case often with this kind of this deep hypnotic vibe kind of tech with techno. As an added bonus, you can add a chorus if you want, chorus ensemble, and just tweak this to taste. And if you want even more, you can also go a bit crazier with this, and we can say, like, you don't need to use this this pattern. I just found this to be really the basis pattern of everything, like of this specific sound that I had in mind that I was trying to recollect, even though I realize it doesn't really sound it doesn't really sound a whole lot like this original track. Kind of, right? But that's what I find to be the beauty of like making music like this, is you can hear a track that really gets to you in a way, and then you'll just try then you can try and just recreate that, like based off of the memory, instead of trying to copy paste the sound exactly by, like, you could import it into your DAW and sit here and try and recreate the sound perfectly. But I do find I've come to find that when you try and go by memory instead, you'll often get close, but you'll also get much closer to your own idea of the sound, like your own expression of that sound, if you will. So yeah, you can add a phaser if you want. You can go as crazy or as subtle as you want with this. Flanger, yeah, I like phaser. And then for giggles, we can just throw in an OTT on there. Like, you'll see, I don't know how common it is these days anymore, but using OTT on the sounds used to be, at least I got the impression that it was like this dirty thing, but honestly, we're making techno. This is music that's based off of breaking up old ideas and doing things just because it works, you know. So yeah, that's my tiny little tutorial for this kind of sound. Hope you enjoyed. I'm hopefully gonna be making more tutorials in the future with small tips and tricks. So see you in the next one.